when that happens, Lily, when it seems like you're changing the conversation by bringing air into the room and going trying to explore the cause and the emotion and the fear behind what's manifesting. What happens? What do when that approach works, how does it change the nature of conversation going on?
Well, people want to feel good about themselves. People want to feel heard. That's a fundamental truth of, well, everything, but especially DEI work. People
Hmm.
don't like feeling belittled, they don't like feeling small. And so, one of the most powerful things we can do, even when people are coming to us with blatant untruths, right,
Hmm.
is to pierce through to the heart of who they are, and what they're feeling.
Hmm.
And so I don't have these conversations particularly often. I'll admit they're not my favorite. But when I do have conversations with people who lead with things like, oh, they're trying to turn my kids transgender, or CRT is,
Hmm.
destroying American society, or whatever, there's a real power in responding to that by saying, how's your day going? Which is not what they expect, right? They expect to have this extremely abstract conversation about what CRT is or isn't, about what trans people, are or aren't, black folks, disabled folks, LGBT folks, like the woke agenda. Take all of that away and say, what are you feeling? What's going on? Right? What are you worried about? And why is it that you're pursuing this scapegoat way out there that you probably don't know anything about?
Hmm.
And that if I really wanted to call you out, I would say define CRT or tell me what a trans person is. And they would
Hmm.
probably stumble. But I'm not looking for social media gotchas that I can film, though I will
Thank
admit
you.
they're very satisfying to watch. There's certainly
Yeah.
some catharsis in watching
All
people,
right.
who rail against CRT not being able to define it. But I'm not looking for that.
Yeah.
Because the vast majority of people that are subscribing to these thoughts are not the folks pushing out that rhetoric, they're folks consuming it. And so I try to understand what drove them to latch on to that rhetoric, what's going on, and to give them more options. To say, I hear
Right.
that you're worried about, dwindling opportunities for your family, and this media head has told you that it's Black people's fault, or
Mhm.
it's immigrants' fault, or it's trans people's fault, or something under the sun. I'm not going to debate whose fault it is, but it's really rough that there aren't opportunities for you, right? Like, let's talk about why
Mhm.
it is opportunities have dried up. Like, let's start trying to get to the root of these challenges, and rather than looking for people to blame, let's just ask the question, why, how, what's going on? And then from there we can approach finally with problem solving. Say, okay, how could we make things better for you given all of this information? I think, yell at minorities isn't particularly useful. Are there ways we could, like, are there specific policies that
Mhm.
could offer more opportunity? Are there, broken systems, lack of healthcare, lack of, gainful employment? Are there things that are affecting your local communities that we can have a conversation about and connect on a very visceral human level? And I find that when you're able to approach conversations one on one like that, that sort of lets the tension out of the room. Sure, they might still not have particularly positive views towards certain groups, but we've now narrowed down this conversation to, how can we make
Yeah.
things better in your life for you? And that's a conversation that anyone wants to have, right? And here's the thing about, media voices. Like, they don't care about people. They don't care about individual people. They
Mhm.
say, you scared? You upset? You angry? Good. I'm going to make you more scared, more upset, and more angry because it's these people's fault. And unfortunately, just psychologically, it's a very powerful brew. It's a very potent
Right.
formula to get people up in arms about things, but it's not substantive. And when you approach someone with substance, when you give them an alternative and you actually talk to them like people, like, that's that's really
Yeah.
desirable. Everyone wants that, right?
Mhm.
There was that recent article, I think it was in the New York Times, talking about the loneliness epidemic, right?
Mhm.
Like, people just don't have connection these days, and so they're grasping for, I don't know, Fox News, looking for connection, when that's something that we have around us, and
Mhm.
we can breach these sorts of misinformation with genuine human connection and conversation about the issues that matter to people.
Yeah, the accountability and the goodness of being real about what's going on with people and in their organizations. I like that frame of expectation that people want connection, and if we give it when we give it to them and seek to do it in a way that works for us too, there's opportunity that would be missed if we got stuck or accepted the chance just to argue. I think this leads to our